What's up, guys? Sunburnt coming to you live. So let's get into this next eclipse, this massive solar eclipse in Aries on the 29th of April. This is a massive one, guys. This is more than just a fresh start. This is a moment of reckoning, right? This is the raw, fiery, instinctual, unapologetic energy of Aries, and it's an eclipse. And then you've got Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, right? You've got that same Aries Pisces polarity, or just the last and the first, the last sign and the first. So many shifts ahead, guys. I'm going to dive deeper into some other stuff too in this video. We're just going to have some fun with it. So yeah, this is a big one. If you guys caught my other videos, this is going to be a zoomed in version of what's coming and how you can best take advantage of this eclipse, right? Of this solar eclipse, which is like a new moon that has the nodes with it, right? So, this is a big one, right? This is about choosing what what's truly yours. What are you going to stand up for? What are you going to put up with? What boundaries are you going to make? What direction are you going in, right? There's times are changing, people. Like I'm telling you, I've been saying this since 2018, before 2017. Go look at my Instagram, search Jessiness in 2025. I made a video in 2018 about 2025, 2026. Guys, this is the time. This is the fucking time. Like, guys, sorry for saying that. God, that's probably going to do or make this video bad. But like, guys, this is it. So this is the time where we leave behind our weakness. We move to strength. This isn't just opening a door. This, the door has been open. Now it's about Aries power, fire, stepping through that door and claiming what's yours, what's always been yours, but maybe what's been hidden. Let's roll the intro. Let's get into this in Aries bold, focused style. Vamos. All right, y'all. Welcome into a Cosmo Sessions. Let's get the notebook out. Make my editor's job easier. ¿Dónde está mi? Okay. So looking at this chart, and we're gonna right here to pop this up. I hope that was helpful for last time. I mean, guys, this is a crazy, crazy eclipse chart. So as you know, just like a birth chart, we can look at an eclipse chart and it can tell us so much about what's happening. A solar eclipse is a new moon. It's a new beginning. Guys, this is right after the astrological new year, which happens today, March 20th, as I'm recording this. This is when we move into the season of Aries, right? It represents so much about this new energy, this new movement into something that for you, you've been doing all of this inner work, right? Like you guys have seen my other videos. You guys have seen other astrologers talk about March is so crazy. I don't know about you. For me, March has been not that intense. I feel like the preparation astrologically has really helped. I did a poll on my IG. Let me check it. Like how people are handling it and whatnot. So March has been 15% say horrible, 43% tough as expected. My IG is Jessiness and Astro, by the way. 28% normal, not bad. That was what I said. And 15% said easy or way easier than expected. So most people said it was tough as expected. So I guess it's kind of wrong there. But as you guys know, like it was never supposed to be easy, right? You had all these retrogrades and two eclipses. There's a lot going on here, so let's break this down. So first of all, let's just talk in general about this Aries energy, right? This, like, especially at 8 degrees, right? 8 degrees is a Scorpio degree. It's important when you look at a new moon, solar eclipse, new moon, to see the degree, or just in general to see the degree of an eclipse, I think. Because 8 holds the energy of Scorpio, which holds the energy of transformation, and which is so relevant to what I'm about to talk about. Because like this eclipse in Aries, it's really this powerful initiation into a choice of like, are you going to be held back into this old version of you, or are you going to, move forward. And Aries, the way Aries moves forward, it's the first energy. It's a child energy. You know how children like children don't give a F, right? Like they just do. It's instinctual. That's right. Why Aries is the first sign. It rules, fifth house rules children, but like, it's that first part of life. It's like where we're just trying things, and you try things and you think about them later. If you know any very Aries people, they're like that. They just do. And they're super assertive, right? That's why Mars is in its highest position in Aries and Scorpio in its dignity. But yeah, so on a physical level, Mars is in its highest position in Aries, which is why Mars, the planet of action, which is in Cancer, is very, very important to this eclipse. So with that said, looking at this chart, we see that Mars is obviously direct now in Cancer, but that brings up the question. So Mars is making a trine to Saturn in Pisces, into the nodes, and to Venus, which is Venus is retrograde at 28 Pisces, right on my sun. Amazing. So it's really bringing up the question. Like, what do you believe in? Like, Mars in Cancer is emotions connected to actions, right? So there's a reason why so many top athletes, people get blown away by this. They're like, I don't get it. Why are so many of the best athletes having Mars in Cancer? Well, it's because Mars in Cancer is able, first of all, it's able to be very, very consistent. It gets a bad rep, but you have to look at the opposite sign. Really, like, those are the athletes that put in the most work. Stojanovic was talking about this, the astrologer Serbian who's passed away now. Like he was saying, like Roger Federer, Djokovic, and like a lot of athletes in all sports have that. Now, of course, they usually have like hard aspects too. Cancer Mars, right, which is very separate from this eclipse, is really, really playing a large role, because you have your sun and moon in Aries. You have to say, okay, well, Aries is ruled by Mars. Where is Mars? So Mars is in a water sign. That adds a more emotional element to it. That adds a more of like a, how am I moving in? It makes you ask that question. So like the question of like, am I moving in a way that's in line with my greatest emotional fulfillment? Right? Is my life path is a path I've chosen because there's probably been a lot of revelations or things that have come to light for you this past month, right? As you're seeing this video, I think maybe if you want to, you can write in the comments. It's probably very personal, but of things that you've learned, realizations you've had, because that's what the retrogrades do. Like Venus retrogrades, I've talked to several clients which by the way, if you want to book a reading, get in touch with me, whatever. It's all the stuff will be in the bio of this video. But like a number of clients and just people close to me who have had big realizations about exes. One theme has been like turning the page on like realizing like, damn, like I was starting to like think I was gonna get back with them. And then boom, like I had like this realization or something happened between us, whatever, right? Or one of my clients said that, or my favorite student, she had a dream where she was like closing the door on this ex that she was, I guess you could say she was kind of starting to entertain the idea a little bit, maybe not even, but like that was her dream. How powerful is that? So this is just how it is, guys. When you add like Aries and 8 degrees Scorpio to that, you have a real intensity and it's really a portal, right? It's like we've done the inner work. We've done the watery, Virgo, Pisces. Remember, if you watched that last video, if you haven't, you can go back. It's still relevant, right? That lunar eclipse, which was very much about, what dreams am I going to go with? Like what do I need? What rigid ideas and thought processes and whatever in my life do I need to kick out, right? Self-limiting beliefs, etc. There's way more than that. I went crazy in that video. It was like a 90-minute video. But like, what do I need to allow to exit from my life for there to be room for something more beautiful, right? For there to be room. Like, are there people in my life that push me away from being allowed to dream? So now that that's happened, and it doesn't happen overnight, people, guys. Look, I know how it is. Like it starts with the seed, the idea, and then it's like it's just like is it the gestation? I can't remember. I know too many languages. That's not a flex. I'm just saying it literally gets confusing with, like, I'll know a word in French, I'll know a name in in Spanish and Romanian, and then I'll forget it in English. Gestation, whatever, the plant being grown. um, but yeah, so sometimes like the external, manifestation takes time. But with that said, this is a super, super strong opportunity. Now there's stay with me, guys, because like it's not just as easy as Aries. There's a whole watery component to it. Water is emotion, intuition, karma, right? In fact, I would say there's just as much water as fire in this new moon, in this eclipse. That's why it's very confusing, because you look at Aries, you're like, oh shit, this is like, this is go time only. But there's a lot that you have to kind of look out for. So, as I was saying, right, like you have Cancer, Mars, and it's a more smooth Mars sign before it goes back into Leo, but it does really ask us, like, how do I want, what big movements, what big decisions do I want to make that are sort of shaping this new reality, like how I'm moving into this new world, right? I, as in like you watching this new world, this new Pluto in Aquarius, Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries, Uranus and Gemini world that's coming very soon. And as we're leaving the Pluto in Capricorn, Neptune in Pisces, Uranus in Gemini, or in Taurus, Saturn is moving faster, but still we're leaving that world. We're entering a crazy world, but more fun. So it's like, what kind of person, like, what do you want to leave behind? Like that whole meme, like, I thought we left this person in 2024. It's like that. It's like, what are you leaving in the past, So I see like a big part of this about independence and about almost like, I don't want to say urgency, because that brings up anxiety, that brings up a sense of like, I have to act now. But in some cases, fate, the astrology of fate, does bring up kairos, moments of fate, where you go this way or that way. And this is a time, this is so in some ways it's about leaning into your instinct, right? Mars in Cancer is moving with instinct, moving with intuition, moving like in a way that your integrity and your emotions, your high emotions, your emotional contentment is attached to that, right? So it's not just about doing things for ego reasons, it's about doing things for soul, for the heart. So it's not really waiting for the perfect moment in a sense, because like sometimes, like, like a Cancer Mars someone with a Cancer Mars could be like, yeah, like that's my problem, indecisiveness. But it's like, no, your emotions, when your emotions are aligned, what you care about. Cancer Mars are so good about fighting for what they care about. It's a cardinal Mars sign. So yeah. Now, taking action is what Aries is all about. New cycles. Ready or not, here I come. That kind of energy. And because this eclipse has no major squares, no oppositions, right? It's just like the chart itself is just so, it's so Aries, it's so just like everything's here, boom, it's like a blast. So it's like, are you going to take that? We talk about the water element, right, in this. And you have to look at this chart and see that if this was just a pure fire Aries, just only Aries eclipse, it would be one thing. But guys, we're still in the midst of having, look at that. You have Mercury retrograde at the 0 Aries point, which is a very strong, it's the first degree of the zodiac. It's a super, super strong point. So the retrograde, representing like that internal reflection, right? It's conjunct Neptune exactly Now, cazimi only exists with the sun. And it's actually, it's not close enough to be like that, but still, it's within like half a degree, literally, Mercury and Neptune. So what does that mean? Cosmic downloads. Like, yes, you would say, oh no, foggy thinking. No, this is intuitive clarity, right? So a new moon, like solar eclipse, new moon, is already a time that's less dense usually, right? It's new beginnings. It's the energy is one, Aries instead of like, opposite signs like full moon, right? So adding this is, really just like, yes, there could be the themes that are a bit confusing. It could, deceptive, whatever, like normally with Mercury retrograde and Neptune. But in this case, I see it more as like a portal, where if you can calm your horses, because like Aries energy can be very exciting, but like I really feel good about this energy. It can be so transformational, which is so in line with that 8 energy, right? 8 numerology is very much about power. Now, I'm not a numerologist, but I know that 8 is about power. It's very, very much about money. I'm just going to shut up about numerology, but I know that a lot of 8s kind of go after what they want and get it. So it's interesting too that like I see 8, 8 Scorpio is being not that simplified. It's really like it's about going through lots of tests, trials, and tribulations, and going through death, rebirths, transformations. I wish I could just say. I was telling my client yesterday, like death, DRT. I wish I could just say that, death, rebirth, transformation, so I could press a button to save time on how much I have to say that. But yeah, so I think you have to really pay attention to your dreams in the days coming up to the 29th of March, because like, you can have like lots of old visions. And this is like the very end. I mean, yes, Neptune will come back into Aries, guys, but like for months, it's going to be, or back into Pisces, excuse me, it's going to be in Aries. This has been so many years that it hasn't changed from Pisces. Huge deal. So, really being at that interactive degree of and even like it's interactive degree and very close to like it's like you have the degree and you have the minute of the degree, right? It's out of 60 the minute, or the degrees are out of 30 and the minutes are out of 60. It's like 20, like so it says 29.57. So that's nearly like it's close. It's the last degree of Neptune and 0.03 away from being the last minute of the last degree of Neptune. That's how at the end we are. So so like old visions, past dreams, hidden truths, really paying attention to your intuitive mind, but also to like what comes up when you sleep. Dream journal if you can, or like at least like spend some time if you can in the morning. Wake up a little bit early if you have work, or if you don't have work, just chill and like take everything in, and see what comes up for you, because like I said, this is the continuation of Aries, us moving into our power, but still dealing with Pisces, which is like our last life, our last chapter. There's still remnants. So now we have the awareness of what we need to do to move forward, right? In life, when something's blocking us, guys, like I know we've all been there. Like when there's something that's blocking us, like for me, I had a period of time where like there was this one thing in my life, right, that every day I woke up and I was like, oh, like no matter how good this day is, like this thing still exists, and like how can I escape this? And I talked to so many clients and so many people who have something in their life right now, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a situation with work, whether it's something with family, where it seems unescapable. But sometimes, like I was doing a session with a client yesterday, and her chart, like the whole point was like it was showing how the relationship with her mother, the relationship with her current husband, it was a complete reflection of her past life karma, right? She had I had 2 clients yesterday, so I have to remember the chart, but like No, that was the second one that had the Hades moon. They both were Scorpio. She had like all 12th house Scorpio, and sorry, it's slipping my mind. But the point is like her chart was basically like I could give her a reading and break down all the psychology. This is super important, by the way, guys. Listen to this, please. Like I broke down her entire chart. I could tell her everything, but like the thing is, everything in that chart was hidden behind her making this decision of moving forward with her life, because this guy was holding her back, won't even let her like follow her dreams, pushes her into this rigid way of existing as in this kind of way that suits him, gaslights her, all that stuff, you know. And she is so gifted, she's so intelligent, she's so naturally talented at astrology, and she wanted to take classes with me because I offer one-on-one classes to people at all levels, right? But like I was asking her, and like, you know, like I was like, are you going to be able to do this? And she's like, I don't think so, because like he has like the financial control, right? Like maybe I can, but like it's going to be hard, right? And I'm like, that's so sad. Like I usually don't get sad about stuff. Like as an astrologer, I've heard everything, but like I genuinely got sad because I felt into that energy. Like damn, like this chart has everything. I'm talking that 12th house like was loaded, and that's the house of repressed energies, right? Like so I could tell that like these energies of Jupiter, Venus, Sun, I think was Mercury there, I can't remember. Mercury was 11th, I think, but it was still in Scorpio. But like yeah, like these were just repressed, you know, and you had Chiron opposing all of them. So it's like to get to that north node, I can't remember what the north node sign was, right? It was Cancer north node in the 7th house. It goes way deeper than that with the rulerships and everything. Basically like it was like in order to unlock all this amazing stuff in her chart, she had to get past this situation that had repeated. We saw the parallels between the relationship with her mother. That's why I like to do these live readings. My new favorite kind of reading is like starting with the live and then talk for like, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours, whatever. I've only done this a few times. It's been my best readings. You leave, and then I go for like an hour or whatever, you know, 2 hours or whatever. Like I just flow alone. Once I've like gotten the information, then I can just go crazy. But yeah, so like it was really, really sad because I'm like I can tell you all this stuff about you. I'm telling you all this, but this is all potential. Astrology is all potential. But like the only way that this is going to be unlocked is like it's because like you can spend so much time if you're around like a low vibrational person, right? Like a covert narcissist, how she described him. Like you can get to the highest heights spiritually, but when that person comes in with their shame or whatever low vibration they come in, and you're an empath Neptunian person, like that they can easily bring you down to that, and you know you become that. It's just really sad for me because I could feel into it. I don't know. So basically, that is hold on. That's an example, right, of like how these things can work, right? Of how you can have any chart and anything going for you, but if you don't have the free will to get past that decision that may have been plaguing you for lifetimes, like I'm sure that this was something that was, really, really in her, it was shown through the chart. I can't remember the exact thing. I think that were the nodes squaring it out? No, the nodes were, the south node was in Capricorn, conjunct Mars, in the first house, ruled by Saturn, conjunct Pluto in the 11th house. If you know, you know. Like, that's that person who doesn't want to deal with emotions, who's on survival mode. And I'm not going to go into her whole reading, but like, you guys understand. It goes way deeper than that. But so that's how energy is. That there's a lot. The things that seem the most hard, sometimes they have the highest rewards. So stepping into your own power and being assertive is what this full moon is about. But also dealing with your thinking, right? So when we talk about this, this ability to have downloads, right, with the retrograde Mercury conjunct Neptune and conjunct Venus. Don't forget that they're all together. Venus is 28. It's really like this transition from I guess it's this mix of like surrender with action. That's Pisces and Aries together, right? like the last remnants of like these old illusions, these old fairy tales we tell ourselves, or these things that we think we can't change about our reality. Pay attention. The clues are coming, right? You're going to get an idea of, like, something's going to come to you. Like when I was talking to this client, not to go too far into it, I was having her imagine, because I have 2 masters in psychology, so I mix in psychology. I was like using it. I guess it would be a Gestalt type of, maybe it wasn't just, I don't even know what the fuck I was, like, I guess it was more CBT, but like imagery, like I was like, okay, like imagine the worst case scenario, right? Because I've done this with other clients before, right? Like your home is everything, right? She had an IC Pisces, or ruled Neptune, ruled IC. So it's like, I was having her imagine, like, worst case scenario, shit hits the fan. Are you alive? Are you okay? Do you have shelter? Are you able to build something better? Because I've worked with people who made those tough decisions in their life, like they took, like, and that's what a lot about what this is about. Leap of faith. Aries is that leap. Pisces is that faith. So yeah, so it's very, very interesting. And so when you add Venus retrograde into the picture, right? For me, it's like the time, obviously exalted in Pisces, right? This can be the most romantic or romanticized illusions, right? It can be like the most deeply romantic, like, energy, with the North Node, like karma related to it. Especially for me with that conjunct my sun, but who gives a shit about Jesse and this fucking thing. But yeah, like there could be like those could get shattered, right? Those could get broken. You have Saturn there in North Node also, right? So there could be a level of realism, and on one side Neptune, on the other side Saturn. You have Venus in the middle. No, Venus is closer to Neptune. So Venus and Neptune together is the most creative energy possible. So if you're a musician, if you're an artist, I don't care if you just create, use the best, the highest energy of creativity is Neptune, which is the inspiration to be able to put something together. Like it's like Van Gogh had to have that Neptunian energy. It's just an example. I know his chart, to think of the starry-eyed, or think of it was the Starry Night painting. Venus was the application of him actually doing it. So Venus and Pisces, for me, it's like as high as it gets artistically. I have my reservations about it romantically. Just I've seen it go really right, but also really, really wrong. It depends on the whole chart. And if you guys know anything about me, my former best friend, who has like a near perfect chart, has Venus and Pisces, and he got duped into, he met a woman who brainwashed him. I think he used black magic on him. I know this sounds crazy, but it's true. And he completely deleted everyone, including me, his best friend since he was 4, his family. It's just a tragic story because his sister, who I was very close with, passed away. And I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, like he has Venus and Pisces is the only thing in his chart, right? But he also had Neptune in the 7th house. So that adds more to that kind of like potential to think that someone is someone they're not, right? To think that, to have rose-colored glasses in love. I talk with so many clients, I talk about this, guys. It's one of the biggest themes, because like, as people who are interested in astrology, who would be most likely to book readings or classes, these are the dreamers. We're the dreamers. We're the creative ones. We're the ones that believe in a perfect reality. So, and sorry guys, I have to keep checking my WhatsApp because I have something being delivered. Hold on. Okay, so sorry, Scorpio messaging me. So yeah, so basically, this is kind kind of a time where we have to also think like, are we allowing this type of love? Are we allowing, like, because especially with Mercury retrograde, the whole, the exes come back, or we start, or if not, we start like, we've been like revising, like what do I value in love? Like like moving into this next period, like what rules do I want to have for myself around it? And sometimes the thing about Venus and Pisces, it is about, sorry, I got interrupted. This isn't about, this is my Neptune on my Mercury right now. I get a text. Let me put it on Do Not Disturb. But so this is a time where illusions can be broken. And where we moved into this new chapter. Should I put my cool sunglasses on? Sorry, ADD. I don't have it, but I did get these glasses that were like $6. This is like when I'm gonna look at the YouTube stats, and it's gonna be like 90% of people stop watching when you put on these glasses. I bought these for like $6. I swear to God, I don't care what you guys think about me. These sunglasses, to me, I should design. I always said I should design clothes. I didn't always say that, but I definitely thought that at some points. I've always told my girlfriends, like, wear this, wear that. You look, I can just tell, like, you look good in that color. I mean, it's a Pisces thing. I don't know. Like, I just know, like, you look good in that. I'm not sitting there like micromanaging, going shopping and shit. But yeah, no, these are so sick. Oh my God, they were like $5 or $6 at like one of the Chinese stores, because my actual glasses are bad. I'm in an unknown location right now. So, anyways, yeah, like I might look like crazy. I don't even know with the headphones. But the point is that, let's just make sure the mic's working too. Yes, thank God. And anything can happen in Mercury retrograde, guys. Anything can happen. I could be recording this whole thing and then it just dies. So you have to really check. I've had some things happen. Okay, it's recording. Let's see how I look. I honestly, these lenses are so clear. Like, I just like see better. I don't know. I'm very sensitive to light, and it just changes it a little bit to where like things just look a little bit more smooth. I don't know. I have like a sensory deficit disorder. Okay, back to astrology. So basically, when it comes to love, this is a time where like you have to like use like this energy, like this discernment. Like, this could be very karmic. There could be very karmic energy, but as Venus retrogrades a little bit further back and hits Saturn, perhaps like that's when more realism will start to take shape. And that's only a few days later, right? That's only like, that's like start of April, right? That's like, wait, it was 29th, so it'd be like April 1st, April 2nd, around then. But like, because it's locked in for the eclipse chart, it really makes you like kind of think about your self-worth. What do I value in relationships? How much do I value a spiritual soul connection, where communication, where there's, especially with Mercury, like where there's an ease of communication, right? I talk to so many like clients, couples, whatever, where there's so much love, but they just can't fucking communicate, right? So I think every psychologist or therapist or anyone watching this like knows what I'm talking about, or anyone who's a human. Hold on. I'm just writing down the names of these chapters. So yeah, so I wrote foggy love or karmic love story, because it's like old relationships can come up, but you might not, like, you might still be like looking at them from a perspective of like and I'm guilty of this, right? Of forgetting about the bad. But perhaps like this energy, and this is actually so funny that I'm saying this now, because it's something that I've been doing, not to like, I don't like to give away my personal life, but like, I'm single, by the way, but like, it could be a really good time to say the things you never said, right? Because like there's relationships that end because, you know, like one person like doesn't feel like they can be themselves and fully express their truth, right? And some people just don't like drama. Some people just like don't like fights. Some people just don't like to have to fucking explain themselves about shit, you know? But it could be a good time to like, whether it's, you know, not just romantic, just anything, right? To try to use that Aries energy to like enforce new boundaries, to enforce a new reality, a new independence, because Aries is about independence. It's about the new you. What's the new you? So when it comes to love, you know, Pisces Venus is the most romantic Venus, and it's also the most idealistic and the most, you know, seeing the potential but not the reality. And you add Neptune to it, and it makes it a million times worse in that sense, or beautiful. But like, this is the thing, guys, is that like this is why we have to really remember that last eclipse, and we have to like not we have to any romantic thing like getting back with an ex or like, oh, it wasn't that bad. No, you need to give yourself time. And like, so I've talked to a few people who, it's very interesting, and you know, as an astrologer, I hear these repeated themes, and then I report to you guys of like not getting back with exes, but starting to kind of like rekindle or re-talk to them, and then being reminded of why they broke up. I've seen that a few times this month, guys. Like, it's crazy. So it's like, for example, they broke up and they, you know, they maybe didn't have full closure. There's still like, you know, it wasn't like a bad ending. And they start talking again a little bit, and then happened to a few people where they were reminded, oh shit, I forgot about this. That Neptune energy is Pisces season or whatever. It made me forget that you know, that like I can't be my full self around you, that I have to like, you know, block out this part of my personality, or that I, you know, that you have a controlling effect, or that you know, like my ideal reality, Pisces, right, is unable to happen with you. And of course, love is about compromise, right? No one's perfect. So that goes to my point of how can we have these conversations, Mercury retrograde, analyzing intellect and thoughts, and also communication. Now you might think, well, that's more internal, Jesse. That's not about communicating with other people. Guys, we have Neptune conjunct Mercury. So this is a time where there could be more of that connection, right? So yeah, so this could be a time, did I write this down twice? Yeah, I did. Like, for real talks, you know, like more smooth psychic communication, where you can talk about the relationship issues, right? And because it's an eclipse, it could be a new beginning to a relationship that's to an old relationship, or, you know, if it's not relationship, you know, a way it could be you know, like, or like an area of your life, right? Like a communication with self. Writing all this shit down. Holy shit. Excuse my language, guys. I'm just being authentic, and I cuss sometimes. I hope you guys don't think I'm not classy for doing that. I could not cuss. I could be a good British boy. Never mind. Yeah, British cuss a lot. What am I talking about? But yeah, like, so basically that's how I see it is, you know, we have this energy, and like, don't just jump into something that you don't be that insane person that so many of us are, like, oh, it could work this time. But use this, whether it's your mother, whether it's someone you work with, your sibling, use this energy to talk about the things that you don't that you usually have difficulties talking about, right? So like, yeah, the Neptune energy will smoothen that out a lot, and it will add more of that dynamic, or not dynamic, more of that like just like understanding, that psychic understanding. So let's see. I think also, obviously with retrogrades, it's probably best to like hold off on big decisions, signing contracts, all that. Like it's a good time for revising and thinking about things. Like if it's a relationship, like, don't like, I'm not going to be that guy that says the rule. I don't like don't ever start a relationship with a retrograde. That's not me. I don't believe in that. I believe in karma. I believe in time, divine timing. I believe that retrogrades like hold different energy, right? Of course, like, and sometimes the karma of a relationship does have the energy of a retrograde. And retrogrades are very powerful. If you think about retrogrades, it's like retrogrades is the closest to it. In some forms of ancient astrology, it's like looked at as the most powerful planets, because they're actually, or the most like untamable, because the retrograde means closest to the Earth, at least for like the first up in for the personal planets, like up until I think about Jupiter or Saturn, because not like Neptune, Uranus, are like half the time retrograde, but because they are actually in that moment less controlled by the sun. They're further away from the sun. Why not? Okay. So retrogrades hold that power, right? They hold that power. But like they're also really, really about people who have a lot of retrogrades in their chart. They might not get that thing right. Like it might take them longer for them to get that thing right or move forward in life. But once they do, it might be like this very perfect, beautiful version, right? I was watching some video where they're giving like an example of someone who has like a lot of retrogrades in their chart and someone who has none. And like the example, I think it was Astrological or something, who's amazing. And she was saying like how, first they like the person with no retrogrades might just like if they're making blueberries, I think was her example. Like they might just make the blueberries really fast. In the first try, it's good. The retrograde person, like they might really mess up the first time. But then after that, they might like create like a whole new system around making blueberries that revolutionizes it, right? It's just like the retrogrades are more about giving thought to a lot, right? Processing. So people like myself who has like no retrogrades besides Pluto, which is, like I said, very far out, we just move forward, right? But like people like my brother, for example, who's like all retrograde, it's like the complete opposite, right? It can feel very stuck, but that doesn't mean it's worse or better. It just means that there's more of you that's needed. And karmically, I can get into that. I usually get into that more in personal readings, what that means. But there's an element of needing to really focus on perfection, on not perfection, but on, it could be a lot of different things, but a lot of times it's like faded lessons around that, needing to examine that deeper. So how that relates to the current astrology is that, we have these retrogrades, and it's like, we're looking at what we value. We're looking at how we speak to ourselves and how we communicate to others with 0 Aries. That's, a new beginning in our way of communicating, in our way of thinking, in our ability to be assertive, in our ability, it's all about boundaries, right? And Pisces can be the lack of spiritual boundaries, energetic boundaries. And we see that with people, like I said, with the example of my client who is this highly spiritual being, but is completely held back by her circumstances. And this is the best example. I have, there's a reason I have clients at certain times, always. I had a client like this before making this video because it was there to show me the biggest example of someone who, like, nothing, the big picture, it's almost like everything in her life, it's like Chiron is like she needs to use that key of Chiron, which opposes all those planets in her chart, to open it up, that door, And then only through that, through actually making that hard action happen, which has probably been lifetimes and lifetimes of the same theme coming up, is the rest of her chart available to her. Now you might be asking, well, Jesse, are you saying that like the whole rest of her chart is unavailable to her? No, just in limited capacity. Because she could go to a women's circle, as she said, and get super, super high, like not in that way, like energetically, and then just be brought back down. You know, you need someone and people, you need, to live a life of peace and tranquility, drama free. Now, of course, love is not like that. We know we're not living like, like this is the whole eighth house element, right? Of the confrontation of self with other. It's just so annoying how I have to keep minimizing. But yeah, like the whole eighth house is confrontation. Seventh house is the relationship. Eighth house is, the confrontation of our shadow with our shadow via the other person, right? That's why like it's Scorpio energy, and that's why this eclipse is 8 degrees. So sorry guys, I'm so sorry. I wish I had a better way of doing this. I really don't. And if I don't get this, then you guys don't see the timestamps, and then like I feel like people love to see the timestamps and say, oh, this part looks interesting, this part looks interesting. So yeah, so basically getting through that door is the first part, right? And that's what we've been trying to do, and that's what we're continuing to try to do. Now, if we actually break down the big picture, right, this is really, and kind of actually I should finish about the eighth house, like this is where we have to let go of what no longer serves us, right? This is where we have to be realistic and understand, look at our life, look at, how can you trust the unseen? How can you know your worth, right? And be able to let go and understand that sometimes, with Mars Saturn, it's that slow but purposeful action that wins in the end, right? It's when when what we're doing in life, not just our dharma, our everyday life is attached to something greater than ourselves. That's when we really win. But yeah, on the point of like the eighth house and like that being connected to Pluto and Aquarius in a way, in this new generation, this new time, like it's like it really is like, what changes do you have to make as you enter Pluto, we really, we're at 3 degrees now. Nearly right on my Aquarius Mars. I can't wait. But like yeah, like it's really just like there's gonna be so much more energy available, and it's like, what do we want to keep, and what do we want to leave behind? So I think this energy holds a lot of that. Now back to kind of the overall energy, right? And then also you have to remember the North Node is a part of this, is an eclipse, so there's a lot of fated events, fated realizations that happen. Now when we have Neptune, Venus, North Node, Saturn, when we have Saturn in there too, it's kind of like this battle between the spiritual and the material. Neptune is spiritual, Saturn is material, right? And they're going to meet in Aries very soon. But here it's like, lots of fated lessons with the North Node, right? About like it kind of brings up that same energy of like the Virgo one, right? About like control versus surrender. And just like how the Mars in Cancer is trining this Saturn Venus, right? And just like how that represents this real kind of opportunity for stability, for emotional stability. Like it's like comfort in the chaos, right? Like stability amidst the chaos. And even when things move super fast, it's like it reminds us that it's okay to slow down. It's okay for us to say, I don't need to make this decision right now, unless it sits right with my gut. Because sometimes that's what can happen. Like the Pisces, energy can make us like be in fairy tale land, right? So, one could look at this too as like how whether it's our creative dreams, with the Venus energy here, at a very good degree of 28 Pisces. So it is a good degree, actually. It's my sun and my Mercury. That's why I laughed, but it's actually a good degree. But like it is kind of like that final review, right? This eclipse and just this energy in general before Aries kind of forces a decision, right? Before this new time comes. And I think like when you have like the Mars, which is in Cancer, and ruled by that moon, right? Or it goes both ways. But like it really does make it really asks us that, it makes us ask that question, like, what do I want to commit to, right? What do I not want to commit to? So like I said, going from surrender to action. So when we break it back down to the chart itself, we have to remember that having all this energy, like having the sun and moon together at 8 Aries just by itself, Aries moon is very impulsive, right? So so Aries moon is very impulsive. I would know it. I don't have it, but I would know it. That's all I'm going to say. And sometimes it makes decisions right away. And that's like the thing about Aries moon, is that it's the least bullshit. I mean, I have so many Aries moon friends, people close to me have Aries moons because they're honest. I would rather get screamed at than have someone like deceive me or be passive aggressive. Like that's why a lot of like my closest people in my life are Aries moons. I mean, I didn't choose that, but like I just love that moon sign. Maybe it's because I'm a Sag moon. I just appreciate directness. So an eclipse. So this is so the reason this eclipse is a little bit interesting is because the nodes are in range. So for an eclipse to happen, it's a solar eclipse is like a new moon, sun conjunct moon, but with the nodes in conjunction. Now in this case, the node it's very, very loose. The north node is still in Pisces. It's in a different sign. So it's not only is it like around 10 degrees away, or even 11, but it is in a different sign. So but like it's still it's 28. So it still is obviously an eclipse, but it's not like it, you can make an argument of like, okay, well, it's different energy. But what I would say is that it really is the final frontier before Neptune, the next day after the 30th, you have Neptune moving to Aries, right? And that's a huge deal, right? Like I said, right? Because that has been something, Aries, the first sign, Neptune moving out of Pisces, and I can make a whole video on that. Maybe I will. But at least for us mutable signs, people who have, especially like planets like me, at the end of Pisces, at the end of Virgo, at the end of Sagittarius, end of Gemini, we'll see some relief soon. Not yet. I mean, a little bit, but just because it's moving out of the sign, it'll feel good. But we still have Saturn at 24. But the point is that we start to see remnants of or we start to see this new reality start to emerge, yeah. And that is very important because on one level we still there's things, like I said before, that take time to change, right? Like, in some ways, and hold up 1 second. In some ways, we don't just like have like move into like a completely new reality for ourselves like overnight. It takes work, it takes time, and that's just the way it is. But also with double Aries potent fire energy, I think that we can manifest like we can like use the creative Pisces energy, right? This is how I would use this energy. We can use this creative, this very like introspective, creative Pisces energy, like kind of like remedies, and how to use the energy, right? So, but as I've been explaining, a lot of this is like about review, karmic review, a lot of karma coming into this, right? With the 12th, with the Pisces energy and the North Node and all that, right? Just eclipses in general. So, in one sense, we're able to have a better idea through writing or through communicating. You can just talk to your phone because Neptune rules cameras, or to your mirror, whatever, and really, really get a list down of what your ideal dream life would look like, right? Step one. So after you've really like meditated and felt into that, right? And I'm not talking like, oh, Lamborghini and of course, if God wants you to have that and you work hard and that's what you want, you can make it happen, but teach their own. I'm not going to demonize that. I'm saying like energetically, spiritually. Okay, make a box, right? Make a box and draw those things and really meditate on it. So you've done that, and you can think about this for a while. You can go on a walk, you can meditate, you can do whatever you do. You can work out, you can kind of, if you live by the ocean or the sea, go around there and look at the sunset. If you're somewhere where you have access to the sunset, let it come to you, right? And write it, Mercury, Neptune, right? Because this is like a time to meditate with the sunset, a time to meditate in nature, right? Like a time to be alone in solitude. Because this is like only when your mind is calm. So I'll repeat that. Only when your mind is calm, your monkey mind, your blah 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 blah, thoughts. Only when that is calm can Neptune energy come through. Neptune energy is not from here. Neptune energy is from another. It's not from this solar system. It's here. It's a level of consciousness that is exported into our solar system from somewhere else, and we have access to it. Some of us, us watching, we do most likely, right? And it shows us that everything is connected. It shows us not through words, we feel it. That's why this is not about words. This is about feeling, and after feeling, action with Aries. But that's not. This is part one. So you've created this kind of square with your dream life in there, and then next is what is blocking me from that, right? Being deadly honest, like sometimes you have to be honest, even if it hurts. Even if it hurts sometimes. Hold on. Sorry, guys. It's my editor. So Okay, so God damn it, all these Scorpios. Oh, this one's Scorpio. Not my editor. My editor, this is me going in my rant. This is just God again. My editor lives in Peru, where I like to go. I love it so much. And I found him on Reddit, which I never go on. And I was actually trying to manifest. So speaking of new moons and eclipses, manifestation, right? What do you need in your life to move forward? This is such an interesting thing, actually. This just popped up, and I'll get back into the exercise in a sec. I'm a 21-degree Sagittarius moon, and I was like, I want to start this YouTube journey. Like, I had this thought one day, and this is also very relevant because, like, I was on a walk, right? Gemini energy, in Romania, and Neptune, because I'm a Mercury Sun Cazimi in Pisces, right? Exact conjunction together, right? So and then I have Neptune on my Mercury and my Sun right now. I get a download. Well, this is before that happened, and I have this download that's like, if I don't start this YouTube shit now and start taking it seriously, like, I'm gonna look back on this moment in a year from now and just feel like a piece of shit that I didn't start that thing. And this is so, guys, I know you all have your version of that, right? What's your version of my YouTube? Even if it's like, there could be fears, there could be like thoughts like, like, I mean, my YouTube, look, like, I'm on it. It's like, I set myself up because I didn't manifest it. I said, look, I know I'm not going to like be this, like, I know my YouTube's probably the odds of it blowing up overnight or me getting all these views, I'm going to have to work my ass off like I have to do with everything in life. That's just my karma. I've accepted it. I'm going to have to make videos that like take an entire day for me to, or like that really, I go all out. I'm going to have to give it my all, right? I can't do no pop astrology BS, I could, and maybe actually, maybe I would do better, but I can't for my integrity. So I'm in Peru. I go on, somehow like Reddit pops up on my phone. I probably like search like something that now I'd probably use ChatGPT for. Or still Reddit sometimes, but this guy pops up looking for a job, nothing to do with astrology. I feel an urge to contact this guy because I'm like, I need someone at this point, right? I need an assistant, or I need someone to help me with like with the YouTube shit because I'm not good with technology and all that, right? He says in the thing that he has like a very high IQ and he's studying medicine, all this stuff, right? I'm like, cool, perfect match. And I hit him up, instant vibe, younger than me, but super, super bright. Has become a friend. And get this, his sun and moon, random person from Reddit, right? And didn't say a word, just said, I need extra money while I'm still studying. Didn't know anything about astrology, I don't think, right? But he's smart, so he can learn things. He can figure shit out, right? I can put him to the task. I can be like, figure this out, figure that out. He'll do it. He's built like that. 21 degree Sag moon, 21 degree, or is it 22 degree Sag sun? I think it's 21, 22 or 21, 21. Either way, exact. I know, no, his sun was 21 Sag. So we had an exact conjunction. God. That's God. To my next point, God is here. I don't know, I was supposed to say something cooler. But like, spirit helps, right? Spirit comes through, but you have to manifest in it and you have to believe in these in that idea that what you say, right? Like it's the whole ether theory, right? Like the bridge between our consciousness, our awareness, our ideas, and our reality, and how that's created, how that's manifested. So I'll go back to to the exercise in a sec. But like the point is that when we put ourselves out there, like God, the universe will still put us through tests. Guys, if I told you the tests I'm going through right now, like it's nothing serious, like medical or, any serious trauma, but you can imagine I have the hardest transits of my life that I've been going through since 2022 with 0 breaks, right? But I still smile, I still smile. I adapt, right? I try to adapt. That's all we can do as humans is adapt. We can be 2 types of humans. We can be those that let life, us be victims to life, or those who adapt and don't play victim. Yeah, this shit sucks. This shit happened like this. It is what it is. Okay. What's the point of me being emotional about it? I can have emotions, but what's the point of me, like, it just doesn't play a role, right? Like, let's figure this shit out. Like, it's almost like a war general. It's like, okay, this is how this happened. This shit moved this way, like in chess. Okay, what's my strategy? I'm not a high level chess player isn't gonna like start getting emotional about a move, right? It's the same thing of the game of chess of life. So my point in all of this is a lot of points because I'm fucking rambling, but it's that one, trust that God is God and spirit is watching you, even if it doesn't feel like it, because like a good teacher, spirit and God / spirit, whatever you want to call it, is most silent during the greatest tests. And miracles happen, guys. This time we're being really tested. It's very dense, guys. I'm telling you, midway through this year is going to feel so much lighter. So much lighter. We're going to have a nice, if you're in the northern hemisphere, a nice summer, guys. Even April is going to feel better. We're still in this big shift, but guys, like we made it so far. Why would you give up? I'm looking at a track right out my window. Why would you give up if you are running a 4-lap, not quite 1,500 meters is nearly 4 laps, right? I used to run that. And the 800 meters is 2 laps. You're on lap 3 and you've got 200 meters left, guys. Why would you stop? This is when you sprint. You give it your all, you keep going. You just keep going, guys. You wake up each day and you don't create that story of that limited reality of like, my life sucks. I'm depressed. I can't escape this. So back to the exercise. A little detour, guys. Like get used to it if you don't like it. I'm sorry. I'm sure I'll become a more concise and precise communicator when Neptune gets the fuck off my goddamn Mercury and Sun. I'm going to write back to exercise after preaching. At least I can laugh about this stuff. So it's like 58 minutes and 10 seconds. How to use the energy exercise. 1 hour, 10 minutes and 14 seconds. Back to exercise after preaching. That's I don't like the sound of saying like, oh, that's such a Jesse thing. That sounds so cringe for me to say about myself, but like that is such a me thing. That's so me. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Anyways, I'm gonna take these glasses off, guys. This shit's about to get real. No, I don't know. I'm just tired of them. And they're kind of scratched because there's just low quality. That color, you can't see that color isn't fire. Well, it's not fire, it's water. Yeah. So, okay. I like them actually because I like closing my eyes when I do this stuff, and I don't like you guys seeing my eyes closed. So, okay, you guys can probably see through my eyes anyways, but like, okay. So, part 1, we've imagined this stuff, right? We have that vision. This is my dream. This is my life. This is what I want. This is like, I always use the easy example of like, I want to like take the route of being an astrologer. I want to, be able to like have, make my money, and start like, whether it's a career, relationships, I want to manifest, beauty into my life. But guys, like back to what I was saying before with love. I know so many people are obsessed with love, and I'm not saying that in a mean way. It's only human. But when we put people on a pedestal, there's nothing, guys, like I'm not acting like I'm Casanova here, guys. And I know a lot of beautiful women there, and just women in general are watching this who have been in that position of being put on a pedestal. There's nothing more uncomfortable. Maybe, I don't know, comment if you like it. Like for me, it's the worst thing in the world. I mean, it's just so, because it's like essentially what it means spiritually is that you're trying to create God out of a human, out of a mortal. So if you've ever been put on a pedestal by someone, that person is replacing you with God. And how uncomfortable is that? You're not God, you're not perfect. And they're seeing you in this way that you're not, and it's just, it's an odd energy. And I'm not going to act like I'm not, I haven't been obsessed or so into, obsessed is a weird word, it kind of conveys like stalking, which I would never do, but just so enamored by a woman where like I'm just thinking about her nonstop, and I know that this is not productive energetically, but I'm still doing it. I'm not going to act like I'm perfect. I'm not. I'm still Neptune 5th house, Pisces sun, but Venus square Pluto, it's an Aquarius. But the point is that it's not conducive. And I was talking to a client the other day, and she was, I forget her placements, but she was saying, or a student actually, and she was saying that, yeah, like love, it just wasn't really a huge priority for her. She was in a good relationship, and it just didn't come up for like the first like 2 hours or something, And I'm like, damn, like usually like when that happens, it's because the person's single. And it just then we got into a talk about like how when that isn't the priority, you end up manifesting it easier because your energy isn't so like needy. You're happy with yourself, right? Anyways, back to the exercise. So we feel into this. It could be about love. It could be about where we want to live. It could be about like how we want to live. It could be about who we want in our life, who we don't want in our life. It could be about work, like in the sense of like, having the money maker and having the passion and working hard on turning the passion into the money maker, or at least a life of more freedom. It could be more about personal stuff, friend group, like how can I be a more authentic version of myself? How can I move into being more authentic? How can I let go? How can I create boundaries with people, especially with this new moon, right? Like, and be strong enough to like, people who make me feel bad, people who make me feel like a very limited version of myself. How can I create that boundary, right? Whatever it is, it goes on and on. Like if you're a painter, if you're a writer, like, how can I find the confidence? Like what, like to not even confidence, like how can I find the time? How can I find whatever it is? Like what's my goal with this? Like, do I want to put it on social media? Like what's my fear of putting myself out there, right? Like really, like it's a mix of imagining and contemplating. I imagine doing this in nature, but you can, create your own paradise within bars. Step 2 is what's keeping you away from this? Is it a relationship? Is it a boundary that hasn't, like that client I was telling you guys about? Is it a boundary that hasn't been made? Where some type of person comes in and kind of breaks you down. Is it a circumstance in your life? I know a lot of people have kids, in the sense of kids not being a bad thing, of course, but like, where it just makes it very hard for a lot of these things, or just like very, very busy with kids and work, right? I get it. So you work with the cards you're dealt, with the cards you have. Kids is typically not a choice. For some people, you guys can believe me if you want, I don't really care. This is from, an authority that I trust. For most people, kids is something that they imagine, they knew that they would have their whole life. Other people, 100% no. Other people, it's more 50-50 free will, right? It's a smaller amount. I'm in that group. Of like not 50-50, but just like kind of like if I want to, but like I've never felt like I want to have kids, but I also don't feel strongly like I definitely don't want kids. It's really just like if the right situation comes, if it's meant to be and it feels right with the right person, and the other stuff feels good. Like I've done I'm in a place in my career, in my life where I'm satisfied, it'd be later, even though, it would be later. But yeah, like, so it's like, who, what, and also like what kind of ways that I'm thinking, ways that I'm talking to myself, ways that I'm thinking about myself, like what is holding me back from that. That's part two. And you have to really think about this stuff, because some of these things are so unconscious and so deep and so hidden. A lot of these can be found through a birth chart reading. If you want to book one with me, there's my advertisement. But really, no, we'll get into the deep nitty and gritty. Like we'll see things, from a deeper perspective, whether you do it live or current or recorded. DM me, Jesse Innocent Astro, although those usually don't come through. So email me, jesseinnocentastrology@gmail.com. Once you have those two lists, right, and you've really thought about it, then that's where the Aries new moon exercise comes in, right? Fire. Maybe you start a fire, right? Maybe you have a bonfire somewhere at night, the night before that new moon, or of that new moon, or whatever. And you have your papers, if you wrote them on papers. There's two different exercises, I guess. That's a different one. I mean, the fire is nice anyways, because it's symbolic of the Aries, and it helps with the processing of energy, right? So the last part is bringing those two together and figuring out how you can get at least like the highest percentage of what's possible from list A, right? And what you would need to do that you're able to do in list B. List C is more, I don't want to say more realistic, right? Because there's some things like maybe in list A that would be like impossible at the current time or whatever. But it's still good to have that Piscean dream, right? Because by you saying, this is going to be mine, I'm going to have this, right? Please, God, give this to me, but not out of like don't only ask God for things. Don't be a spoiled child. Thank God you should thank God and be like, I'm just saying be more, you should be grateful for the blessings of the universe, of God, the small things, that you're healthy, that you have shelter, that you have whoever you have in your life, that they're healthy, like small things. That is like the equivalent of like a parent. If God is our father or mother or whatever, it's everything. That second page is really like what's blocking us from that dream reality, right? That Neptunian ideal, but like also understanding that, that there's things that need to happen, right? So like if list 1 is Neptune, list 2 is Saturn, list 3 would be, I guess it's not a planet, it'd be like Virgo, kind of, right? Where it's like like what do I need to do, I guess, right? What do I need to implement? Well, I guess it's Aries. It's Aries. What are we talking about? It's Aries because it's the new moon in Aries, right? So it's true to Aries energy of action, but like also Virgo in the sense of like, it takes time, it takes effort, because sometimes Aries just starts things. But also this is the time of initiation. This is the time to start a new project. This is the time to I take that back. There's still retrogrades. This is the time to really form the foundations. You can, wait for the retrogrades to be over before you formally start them, would be most astrologers' advice. I'm not going to comment on that. I don't really have an answer, to be honest. I don't really have like a strong belief or disbelief. I would say in general, probably better to wait, but teach their own, right? For most things, yeah, better to wait. But yeah, depends what it is. So anyway, now you're figuring out, okay, like what do I need to Aries, like full fire assertive mode, do to move past this, right? Or to make one more possible. So it's kind of like a convergence of one of the two lists. what's doable, right? And then like what are the biggest boundaries, or what are the biggest limitations, or what are the things that are most difficult for me to do that are standing in my way of my dream life, right? But when you put this into writing on a night that has Neptune conjunct Mercury exact, like you're gonna get information from source, from your guides that you're not gonna get in other times, right? Being able to understand that Neptune's moving into Aries like the next day is crazy too. So that's kind of how I see it, right? And from that list, we actually have, because a lot of people, they have a loose framework, they have an idea of that, but when you take advantage of this energy, you're really taking advantage of a closer connectivity with your guides. Like when you're in a meditative state, you're able to calm down the monkey mind, and you have, like I said, like these downloads, these Neptunian types of downloads, not Uranian types, the Neptunian types, right? And you get ideas. It could be about all areas of life, and you just have to really just write them down, or just, or if you're just freely associating, just talking and filming yourself and just like seeing what comes out, just whatever works for you. Everyone has their own process. So that's kind of like, let me feel into that more. When you have that though, like that really gives you an idea. But it really does require a lot of deep feeling, and even kind of if you've had like a natal charting, for example, or like just like hearing other people's perspectives too, can be very helpful. Like this is actually a great time. Like if you've had a reading from me, if you've had a reading from another astrologer that's not shit, reviewing that is a really good time for right now for reviewing old readings. I might actually do that myself. It's a good idea. And yeah, like, because it's an Aries energy, it's about moving into this new time with power and with emphasis, and with I don't give a F, like I'm doing me. First sign, Aries, confidence, boldness, assertiveness. It can be a bit selfish, but sometimes you have to be selfish in order to create boundaries to move towards what you deserve, right? That's just how it is. So that's what we're doing. Now beyond that, let's see here. Let's take one last peek at the chart. Sometimes things come through to me right when I finish recording, like maybe like I need to just like relax. I'm relaxed, but you know what I mean. Give me a second, guys. I mean, like I said in the last video, we're still dealing with those themes of the South Node in Virgo, North Node in Pisces, which we'll continue to be dealing with. And how do we move into this dream life? That's the question, right? Like we deserve it. Like who has told you that you don't? Who has tried to gaslight you in believing that you deserve a limited reality? Answer that. How do you allow yourself to allow worry, self-criticism, never being good enough, perfectionism, etc., to get in the way of you just being and just accepting who you are and not judging yourself? Some days your best is 40 out of 100. Some days it's 80 out of 100. Some days it's 2 out of 100. But like on those days that it's 40, you might say, fuck it, like I might as well be, I suck, I'm 0. But no, like you're holding yourself to too high of standards. This is a marathon, baby. This isn't a sprint. And we're close, and it's not like life is just gonna get magically better like when all these planets shift, but it's exciting, like the big picture astrology is exciting. So it's exciting and it's chaotic, potentially. We don't know, but that's life. That's the beauty, guys. Like I was looking at my solar returns, I just had my birthday, March 18th, yesterday, or what day is it? 2 days. Oh my God. I got so burnt that yesterday didn't even count as a day. I just worked all day. But, like we, what was I just fucking saying? Yeah, like Virgo, like there's so much that we judge ourselves. I lost what I was saying. It'll come back to me, so I just go into something else and it'll come back. But yeah, really into the big. It always happens when I write it down. This is what happens when Neptune's on your Mercury. Is that like you're so floaty above that like you have to make it like an effort to like I have to like if I really like, but like that would take away from like the kind of like just flow of consciousness that where I'm just flowing, but sometimes you just move away from your brain. You're just up here, but yeah. So relating it back to the big picture, guys, like it's not like life is just going to improve when like things are going to change, and change is not always for the better, but change is movement forward. So at the micro level, we're growing as humans, as souls, and you know, I feel like we've learned so much. So many of the people I'm connected to have, you know, gone through the different phases of spirituality, like the idealistic phase, right? Then kind of like that moving more back into the normal life, how they were before, but still having that insight, but kind of maybe a little bit of doubt or a little bit of like, and then, you know, and then like it's like a retrograde, and then like a movement back into it, refinding it. It's like you find it first, you fall in love, you realize what love is, you realize what life is, what God is, and then, you know, some things happen, you move away from it. 1 second. And then you come back. Sorry, man, I just need to deliver it. I have to just check where it's at. See how much longer I have. Okay. So yeah, so anyways, follow your dreams. Do not get too diluted by, you know, all this energy. Like just let it be a part of you, but definitely like I'm not the person that says do a ceremony, do this or that. Just guys, trust me, like this is a very strong one to do some type of like work around it, something with writing. Another exercise you could do would be like like having the fire and burning in of that part of the list of like, you know, of what you want to let go of. Like I know that full moons are more about release. So yeah, like what you want to manifest, maybe that's more for full moon. But like it's just Aries, so it's like burning it with the intention of that flame adding fire to it, right? Of your dreams. That's my advice. And guys, just moving into this future, just have faith. Guys, great stuff's coming. I'm telling you, I'm not just saying this. I've been struggling. I've been having so much BS in my life, and I'm the most drama-free person. Like, it finds you sometimes, but this is like, you know, God only does this to, I mean, like, it's not that whole thing, like God only does this to his most, you know, to the people who are up for whatever the saying is, the most trusted soldiers or the greatest soldiers or whatever. It's just, it is what it is, y'all. Like, it is what it is, and we're gonna make it. Everyone's gonna make it in their own way. You're on the path. I know this is sounding like very broad spiritual talk, but like, I feel like I have to say it. You are where you're supposed to be, even if it feels chaotic as fuck, because that chaos is part of your growth. I'm going to drop the mic on that one. Love you guys so much. Please let me know in the comments what you think of these videos. If you like these videos, tell me if you have these on in the background. I would really love to hear. Like, I love the idea of someone, you know, playing this in the background, and you know, or just listening on your way to work. Like, either way, it's amazing. You know, I'm so grateful, and I'm really trying to. I'm so close with YouTube guys. Like, honestly, this is some kind of crazy stuff, but like I have to get to 4,000 hours before I can ever get monetized, which I think my Google Ads is suspended anyway. So, but it's like in a year period. So, yeah, I'm not gonna ask anyone to just like, that would be very illegal and unethical to ask anyone to to just like play my whole videos or to like give me watch hours by just leaving my playlists on. But you know, in a dream world, that would just happen naturally, and I'd be already over 4,000 hours. But I'm so close. I'm at like 3,300, but I started last March, so okay, I have to go. I started last March, so like now it's like at a point where like a lot of the videos I made last March with Cosmo Sessions that had a lot of viewing hours, right? That's how YouTube does it. Like those start to not count because it's in a 360, you have to have 4,000 hours in a 365-day period. So yeah, so like we'll see. I mean, I'm not really tripping about it. Like I would probably make like, it's not about money. I'd probably make like what, like $1 per video. It's just the fact that like I just want to have reached that point of like being monetized by YouTube, you know? I think that like it's kind of like, I feel like I deserve it in a way. Like I put in the work, and I know it will happen when it happens, but yeah. Much love to everyone who's supported me, and yeah, let me know if you like this format. Like I'll always keep coming with the other types of videos, but for me, this feels right, especially during high times like this. And I don't know, do you guys like my takes on eclipses, full moons, new moons, and stuff? I could do that. Like, I have no problem. I enjoy it. I used to not enjoy it as much, but because like I don't like to be the person that's like sensationalizing. I'd rather like speak on like the really intense full moons and whatnot, because I feel like that adds more importance than if I talk about every single one. You know, I could never do that. I have too much integrity and honesty to be someone who would like tell you I could do that. I could take advantage of all you guys. Not all of you, but like you guys are smart. You guys would know. But I could be like this astrologer that's like, guys, you have no idea what's coming. But like, I would rather be honest. Like sometimes it's not that big of a deal, you know, or it is to some people not. But guys, these are eclipses. These are shifting timelines. Your choice. I was gonna say your body, your choice, but that's just, sorry, that doesn't make any sense. Yo, wait, your body, your choice. I know it's about abortion, but like, your soul, your choice. How about that? Yes. All right, y'all. Love, 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 love. Happy astrological new year. I have a good feeling about this one, guys. I have a good feeling about this one. Remind me next March 20th. No one's going to do it, but if anyone does, it's crazy to make a video on this on March 20th. I didn't realize I was doing it. We'll see how it is. All right. Ciao, amigos amigos y amigas. Salut les copains. Salut les copines. Bye bye, everyone. Ciao, 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 Chescu.